Hello there, welcome back to Brilliant Minds. Today we're going to talk about Albert Einstein, the boy who dreamed in numbers. Once upon a time, in a small city in Germany called Ulm, a quiet baby was born with a head full of wild, wavy hair. His name was Albert Einstein. From the moment he could talk, and that took a while, Albert saw the world a little differently. While other kids liked noisy games and sports, Albert liked silence. He liked to sit and think. He once said that he didn't even speak properly until he was nearly 4 years old. But inside that quiet head, thoughts were bouncing around, like popcorn. One day, when Albert was 5, his father gave him a compass. Not a digital one or something on a phone, but a little brass compass with a needle that pointed north. Albert was fascinated. No matter how he turned it, twisted it, or flipped it upside down, the needle kept pointing the same way. Why, he wondered. What's making it do that? That tiny compass sparked a huge curiosity in Albert's mind. It made him realize that invisible forces were all around us, forces we couldn't see, but that shaped the world. At school, Albert was different. He didn't always enjoy the way lessons were taught. Teachers expected students to memorize facts and repeat them, but Albert liked to understand why things worked. He wanted to explore ideas deeply and ask big questions. Because of this, some teachers thought he was lazy or not very smart, but they were wrong. Albert's mind was like a telescope, zooming in and out of problems until he could see them clearly. As Albert grew older, he continued to dream big. He loved maths, puzzles, and especially physics, the science of how the world works. He would stare out the window in class and imagine riding on a beam of light through space. He thought, what would it feel like to chase a ray of sunshine? While most people daydreamed about summer or sweets, Albert daydreamed about light and time and the shape of the universe. But life wasn't always easy for Albert. When he finished school, he couldn't find a job as a teacher or professor, so he worked at a patent office in Switzerland. That meant reading other people's inventions all day long. It wasn't very exciting, but Albert used his spare time to work on his own ideas. He scribbled equations in the margins of paper and filled notebooks with theories. And then, in 1905, something amazing happened. In just 1 year, Albert published 4 papers that changed science forever. One of them introduced a tiny but mighty equation you might have heard of, E equals mc squared. That means energy and mass are connected, and it helped scientists understand how stars shine and how the universe works. But Albert didn't stop there. He later developed something called the theory of relativity, which showed that time and space aren't fixed. They can bend and stretch, like a trampoline. This was one of the biggest discoveries in physics, and it helped explain how gravity works in a brand new way. People all over the world were amazed. Albert Einstein became famous, not because he shouted the loudest, but because he thought the deepest. He wasn't just clever with numbers, he had imagination. He once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Because imagination lets us explore the impossible. Even as he grew older, with wild white hair and a twinkle in his eye, Albert stayed curious. He played the violin, loved sailing, and always asked questions. He believed in peace, kindness, and using science to help others not to hurt them. Today, Albert Einstein's name is known all over the world. His ideas power everything from GPS satellites to space travel. But once he was just a quiet little boy, staring at a compass, wondering why the needle moved. So, if you ever feel different, or if your mind is full of questions no one else seems to understand, remember Albert, the boy who dreamed in numbers and changed the world with his curiosity. Thanks for listening. And remember, sometimes the quietest minds make the loudest discoveries.